Hello and welcome to this demonstration of the Deskera system in use for the distribution industry. The Deskera system is cloud-based, and any user just needs a web browser and internet connection to log into it with a username and password. Speaking of users, Deskera is also role-based, whereby you allow or restrict employees access to certain Deskera features based on the role that they play in your company. Let's start by going through the sourcing process. In the course of your business, you would be acquainted with the same bunch of suppliers. They are registered into the system under a supplier master. Now let's create a purchase order so we can buy something from our supplier. You just have to select your supplier, and the system automatically brings up a list of items that you usually buy from him, along with his last known prices. Now if you buy the same item from different vendors, you can expect the price to be different. Same goes for the mode of payment, such as cash, check, or which bank account to use. Deskera helps you manage such complexities through features such as a price master. But let's stick with a simple example for now. Next, select your quantity. You are able to define the unit of measurement that the quantity is based on, be it a certain number of kilograms, pounds, liters, cartons, boxes, etc. And that's about it. We can just click Save. The system helps fill in warehouse and delivery addresses for billing and shipping, which I can make changes to right here if need be. Now I click Save and my purchase order is created. There's an email button right here, so you can straightaway send the purchase order to the distributor or vendor. As you can see, the email is pre-composed from a template, but you can always tweak it here. Also, you can always just send the email later. Here's all my previous purchase orders, from which I can just select which ones to send out by email. While I'm still looking at this purchase order, another thing that I can straightaway generate is the goods receipt note. The goods receipt note is usually generated elsewhere in the system, but this button takes me there right away. You can actually skip this step and jump straight to recording the vendor's purchase invoice, because whenever you generate the purchase invoice, the goods receipt note is automatically generated along with it. Here you can see that the batch of the item is recorded along with the manufacturing and expiry dates, and you can even attach certificate documents to the batch. Such information is crucial for food items, and the system can use this information to alert you when some items are nearing their expiry dates. All you have to do now is click Save, and now the goods receipt note and purchase invoice are created. Now at this point, the system has done a few more things in the background. It has taken care of all your accounts payable, all your inventory that's coming in, and it's also updating the inventory pricing. And all I had to do was click a button to generate the purchase order, and another button for generating the invoice with goods receipt note. And just like that, I've completed the whole purchase cycle. It's that easy. You can also print any of these purchase transactions using one of the default templates or your own personalized template. Now let's make payment. First, I would view only the invoices that have pending payments. I can select any number of these invoices pending payment and pay for them in bulk. If I choose to pay them in check, the system helps me to print checks for all of them because it's able to integrate with my bank account. Now that our sourcing is done and we have our materials, let's see them in our inventory. Here we have a stock ledger. For every type of item that you look at in the stock ledger report, you will see every in and out transaction that it went through, along with the average cost, value, and quantity for each transaction or for the total that you have on hand. If this item had batch information, we would see things like its expiry date from here. Deskera also has a more detailed report specific to expiry dates, as you can see here. And here we see that we can also define when or how our users should be notified via email about approaching expiry dates. This is really a one-time setup, and you don't have to repeat this for every inventory item and transaction. Now let's head over to the delivery process. It starts with creating a sales order. Here you can see all my previous sales orders. It's worth mentioning that Deskera has a strong framework which allows for integration with third-party e-commerce platforms such as Magento and Shopify, so that orders made on those platforms can flow seamlessly into the Deskera system, which saves you from entering the transactions manually. You can also easily import previous records of sales orders in the CSV file format. Now let's create a new sales order manually with just a few clicks. When I select my customer, the system automatically brings up a list of items that he usually buys. If you need to be really specific, you can even narrow down which warehouse, location, or batch that the item should come from. Now we can save this sales order. We can click this button right here to go straight to generating the sales invoice for this order. Usually, you don't have to do this if the order is generated from a third-party platform like Shopify, because that will be done automatically through integration. As you can see, the invoice is already mostly filled out. We have this option to automatically generate the delivery order along with the sales invoice. The delivery order documents the first step in fulfilling the order, which is also known as the pick part of the pick, pack, and ship process. So once you save the invoice, your pick delivery order is generated in the background. Next, your ground staff would pick the items and then pack them. This is recorded into the system by going to the delivery order report for picked delivery orders and then moving them to the packing delivery order stage. Here you have your standard packing details. If you choose to enable the bulk packaging option, you won't have to specify the packing details again and again for every item. The system will use default packing specifications to package all the items in bulk. However, if you do want to specify packing details for each item, you can do so right here. Such details include package dimensions, product weight, net weight, gross weight, etc. If you select one of your standard box sizes, then other several known details get filled automatically. If a delivery courier such as UPS handles your deliveries, it's worth mentioning that Deskera has UPS integration to help you in electronically submitting these packing details to them in the format that the UPS system recognizes. UPS would then give your tracking number and shipping label, which you can stick onto your box. At this point, you can even estimate your shipping cost and add that to your invoice. Now that the delivery process is complete, let's take a look at the inventory again, because the stock should have moved out of the system and our inventory should be automatically updated. As you can see, the outgoing inventory is subtracted and marked as delivered. This whole time, when we were creating all those transactions for purchasing, sales, and delivery, the system has been posting all the necessary journal entries in the background to our general ledger, which in turn updates other financial statements like our P&L and balance sheet. And we can actually go to our financial statements at the macro level, for example, our profit and loss statement, and then drill down through the accounts until we are looking at each individual transaction that we made earlier. We can do the same through our balance sheet if we just keep expanding and clicking through each record. Since I'm here, I might as well talk about other financial reports. Here's our general ledger. I can fetch records based on a date period, and I can expand or collapse individual accounts to see what's happening. We also have the trial balance. And here's our age receivables report, which is needed if you allow credit sales to customers without upfront payment. And this is our age payables report, which reflects our non-upfront payments to our suppliers. I'll choose the supplier from earlier and fetch our recent orders from him, and now I can see all our invoices and amounts that are due. And then perhaps email them to my accounts manager to bring them to his attention. Here's our cash flow statement. I'll fetch the cash flow of this date period. This is the standard layout for the cash flow, but if you need a different layout, that can be customized as well. As a distribution company, you would want to see all this information at a quick glance on one page, and you can do that because Deskera offers custom widget reports. Each of these windows will be updated with reports that I am interested in. Now let's look at some other notable features. Deskera allows you to make direct journal entries without having to generate sales or purchase transactions, be it a normal journal entry, party journal entry, or funds transfer. Deskera also allows you to automate repeating transactions. Let's say we know that we will always make the same purchase from a supplier on the same day every month. We can pretty much tell the system to schedule them. We can let the system automatically create those orders and send out the respective emails. Or we can set up an approval rule so that certain approving staff will get notified about the automated order, and the system will only execute the order once those staff give their approval. Those are just some of the notable features Deskera can offer for your distribution business. Feel free to contact us if you have more questions. Thanks for watching.